over the grim sadness that is Sagat in Street Fighter V. So as we know, yesterday Evo happened, and we were all excited to preciously await Sagat, who wasn't excited for this reveal. I don't think there's a single person that wasn't. I was very pumped and super excited about it.
Dare you challenge the king?
Let's go over Sagat and let's take a look at some of his stuff and some of the reasons why I don't think he's a very good character. Sagat is, in my opinion, not one of the worst characters in the game or anything like that. He's definitely not ass-hat awful, but he's really not that good. Hope you guys enjoy my name. Alright, so let's go over some of the basic things, some of the combos, and some of the stuff that he has. So first off, from his light, he does have confirms. So you could definitely do stuff like that. He could do anything into Tiger Uppercut, and it could be heavy, light, medium, it really doesn't matter, like that. So he does have a cancelable standing crouching light, which is okay, and his standing light kick is actually pretty good because from a range he gets a cancel, which that's probably one of his best assets, and that's very good too. His standing medium punch combos into his crouching medium punch, and it also combos into his standing light kick. If I could just do that. There we go, right there. So he could do that as well. And then his crouching fierce is pretty decent too. It's +2 on hit, and I believe on block it's actually pretty good too. Oh, it's -1. Sorry, I thought that was reversed. So that's another thing that's gonna suck about him. So one of the things that I did notice about him initially was his zoning is very good. You really get this sense that he can really zone and do stuff. But if you take a look at that, obviously projectiles, they're not going to win you a match. Projectiles aren't going to win you everything. And Sagat really suffers from damage situations. So let's see exactly what I mean by that. You're like, well, he's got this good V-trigger. Let's do that. Let me put the V-trigger and stuff on. So we have, alright, so we have our V-trigger and we have our stuff. So let's go over the normals. The normals are super important. So first off, his crouching medium kick is decent range, but it's slow, and it doesn't fully do much out of it. So for example, let's say I do a crouching medium kick to a tiger shot, and I go into V-trigger, I really can't do anything. So it's like they give him this range, but he really can't get much out of it when he uses that range. Doesn't really get. You can maybe Kara that and get like a DP there. So his mileage is very weak. Another thing, let me go over the things that I'm not happy about. Is really bad. And his throw range is abysmal. His throw range is very, very bad. Look at that. That's pathetic. I'm right on top of the character. Let's put if he's do. That's pathetic. So another thing is about him is the following. So that'll hit if he's crouching, which is good. But check this out. If they block all of it, I'm severely negative. So if the first hit of the high kick blocks and the second one hit, that would be okay. But now that's like a whiff punish. So at this range, that button is garbage. Is absolute trash. His standing high punch is okay. That's fine. But once again, that doesn't cancel. That doesn't do anything, and neither does the crouching fierce. So he doesn't have a button that really cancels, which is okay because we're used to that with Sagat. We're like, okay, that's fine, that's normal. But what about this? His standing medium punch isn't cancelable either. So there's nothing you can really do about that. So okay, so let's recap just for start. So I have an awful grab range to start, a standing heavy kick where at block, if you do the second hit that whiffs, that's a punish. Like that's at least a Shoryuken into something, or a crouching medium punch to something. you know, we don't have to know the frame data to really see that. Like, I'm mashing jab. So let's see if we can show the input display, key display on. Watch this. Watch when I start mashing jab, right? So you're gonna have plenty of time to do something and stop and interrupt that. So that's pretty much weak too. His standing medium kick, not cancelable, and it's -2 on block. So you can't really even pressure with that or do anything with that either. His standing heavy kick is one of his combo starters. So if we do something like this, I could do a combo like that, but if they had block it, I can't even use it as like a frame trap. So I can't even really like do anything with that. His standing medium punch is +3, but I'm curious as to what the startup is. Let me see. Of his crouching medium punches, and his crouching medium punch is only +1. It's not even like +3 or 4 or anything like that. It's really weak. It's the same thing with his light kick, and because like he could do stuff like that, that's a decent block string, and then go into a tiger shot, but that's not too bad. But when Sagat does hit you, the mileage is very low. One of the other things that they emphasize in this game, and if you do the trial, the demonstration as well, is the tiger knee spaced. So that was another thing that's a thing about Sagat, is if you do the tiger knee, you're safe or you maintain advantage depending on how you space it. So if I do a light tiger shot from here, that'll whiff. If I do it from there, it still whiffs. Let's do it here. And I'm still -2. So we'll look at it again. So now I'm 0. But now I don't have fast normals. That's never been a Sagat thing. So I would love to see if he does have a 3-framer, but it doesn't look like he does. This button is okay. That'll cancel and that'll do stuff. But what? So oh yeah, this is another thing I have to go over here. So I want to go over his crush counters. That's another thing I want to go over. That shows off his weakness. So right here, his crush counter move, well, I'm going to have them stand, is this, right? So that creates my crush counter. The problem with that is it whiffs on a croucher. So in the neutral, if I'm here, I can't be like Urian or like, you know, Karen doing standing fierce, or, you know, what do you call it? I'm not a pressure character, so it's very hard for me to fish in the neutral and do things on that level, because the only time I'm gonna get a crush counter in most cases at high level play is if a character is scared and they do a reversal and then they crush counter them, which there's really no need to do a reversal against Sagat because he's not a pressure character. So you're not going to be in a situation where you're scared of Sagat's mix-up, because Sagat has an overhead, which is not bad, but it doesn't lead to anything, and it's not V-trigger cancelable. So what are you scared of? He doesn't have a good cross-up. That's like his best conversion from a cross-up, really, is you know, something like that. He cannot V-trigger cancel a tiger uppercut. He cannot V-trigger cancel a tiger knee. He cannot combo into his super from a tiger knee. He must use a projectile or a tiger uppercut to go into the super. So he loses that versatility, where at least in Street Fighter 4 you could do the same thing. You could do this to super. You had that option. When you're in V-trigger, it's the same game, really. There's nothing you can do with that. He does gain the ability to cancel the tiger cannon into any normal, but even on a counter hit, if I do like a crouching medium kick, you can block that in time. It will work. That was also a counter, so that's not a valid point. So let's go back into that. So it'll work from a standing medium punch. It will not work from a crouching medium kick. So if that worked, that would be a really good tool, because then he could just Kara and then do a DP and go to super or whatever, and that would be a great tool. But that's another thing that you have to do with Sagat, is you must do Kara cancels. If I do this, this is +3. And then, so that's good. But if it's blocked, it's -2, and he completely gives up his turn. And then Sagat is left with the choice of doing a random DP or having slower normals into neutral again that really don't account too much. So another thing that is really bad is the crouching medium kick is slow. So if you're trying to space and you're trying to do stuff, you have to use it in your block strings to get pushback. But if you do this, if that's +1 and this is slow, if you do that, they can hit a button between your crouching light punch and your crouching medium kick, and they'll interrupt that. And your projectiles are now -4, which also means that he is punishable. So if you do them close, Sagat is now punishable. So, right, also what we have, and one thing I think I did cover this before, I just want to make sure I did get it, is let's go over his crush counter stuff. So his crush counter stuff is good. I love his crush counter stuff. I think they did a really good job there. You know, that's just like a simple basic one like that. You also could do stuff like this and do stuff like that. So he has options out of his crush counters, which are very good. And he can do a Kara DP into that and then go into super, which is fantastic, which is very good. In terms of his V skill is okay. I wouldn't say it's terrible. I wouldn't say it's good. It's good because it gives you a damage boost. Let's get that off the counter. Just see the normal damage so we can get that here. So if we do the normal, so that's 160, 180, right? There's 130, 150 for the medium, I mean light, and all the DPs are the exact same. So there's really no point in, so basically the heavies are for your extending combos to get the range from the Karas. Because if you do the Kara from the light, you don't get the range. But if you do it from the heavy, you get the range. And if you do it from the light, you get the invincibility because of the airborne invincibility. He gets the airborne invincibility on the light one, and then you can go to super, obviously. Actually, maybe you can. Maybe that's a nerf too. Because I'm having trouble with that. Oh, no, I'm just a scrub. So I could do that too. So some key takeaways from Sagat, right? So his normals are bad. What are we doing? Normal recovery here, right? So his normals are bad because they don't give him any advantage. They don't give him any good situations. And the normals that are ranged push away, but Sagat's not getting the damage. He's really struggling from his struggles in Super Street Fighter 4 and Ultra Street Fighter 4. Sagat can win. I don't think he's like the worst character in the game or anything, but he's going to struggle because he's not going to be able to get that burst damage that you need to get in Street Fighter 5. I mean, you can do stuff like this and have combos and whatever. So let's do after first attack. So I can do something like this. If I could do the combo, so you can do like and then you do that, and then like tiger uppercut. You know, there's a lot of I think it's a light one, but there's a lot of stuff that he can do in the corner. It's very good. It's very feasible. Another thing I do not like, I think is a weakness, is his throws. So right here, that's not ideal for Sagat. In Street Fighter 4 or in Street Fighter 2 or any other game, you are put in a position where you're further from Sagat, which is what his game plan is. If you throw the character, you're in the same kind of position. They're still kind of close to Sagat. And let's not also forget that so many characters have anti-projectile tools, whether it be in Bison, whether it be Colleen, whether it be Ryu, whether it be Ibuki. So many characters can get around projectiles as is, that it makes Sagat weak in that regard. So Sagat's forward walk speed is slow. That's no surprise. That's really no surprise there. His dash isn't bad, but it's not great. So we can do all sorts of stuff like that, and then we can do stuff like that. That's, you know, basic Street Fighter 4 kind of stuff. Another thing that he can do, which is cool, is this. You can do go into super like that. If you catch them airborne, you can do stuff like you can do fun stuff too. You can Kara DP after that. Let me make sure I can get it. I suck, but you can. Yeah, I know you can definitely do it easily in the corner. So you do stuff like that. So if you catch the mid-air juggle, and then you can do the super too. Do that. Any basic juggle, if you catch them with a fireball, that will work. And that goes for his V-trigger 1, and that also goes for if you catch them in the air, just they land on it and stuff like that. The step kick is still pretty good, but the main problem is this. Think about Street Fighter V, right? All the game takes is one jump in, and then you're basically in a very bad situation. So if Nakali jumps in and then he can do stomps and do that, he's gonna put the pain on Sagat, and then Sagat's in a situation where he's got to defend really close with slower normals that aren't, or lack of range, and he's just not going to be able to do much within that range. And like, if you take a look at this, he can't do much. The damage is there, but think about the possibility of landing that stuff. So you do stuff like that. That works. But one thing you have to know about the standing heavy kick, or Sagat also in neutral, is you're not going to be able to fish for counter hits. You're not Urian with standing heavy punch. You're not, Manat with standing fierce, where it just comes at that fast angle, and you're going to get these crush counters. You're not playing Guile, where you got a flash kick or a crouching high punch that's really going to pop them up, and you have these really good normals, and you can still go to flash kick from really far away. Another thing is his crouching beam kick is that from his max range, it doesn't hit, and that's kind of a known thing. So you're only going to be getting it from the inside range. But when you're using the inside range, the slower normals again. It's that same reoccurring issue that he has. So you can do stuff with him, but the thing is that it's just he doesn't have a lot that really makes him special, or it separates him from the rest of the. He can't even do a step kick after that. Like, I'm trying to be creative. I can do like an EXDP. It's just like everything that he does, it costs a good amount, and it only is really worth it if it's a crush counter combo and they do a random DP and he's going to cash in big. That's the only situation where it's really beneficial to him. You could do like stuff like that. It's like, oh, cool, but I can't cancel that. I can't cancel the far heavy kick. All these situations, it's like you can get the damage and you can do stuff with Sagat, but the likelihood that you're going to land these things is lower than if you pick Cammy, or you pick Urian, or you pick another character, or some offensive character, or a defensive god like Guile or Manat, because those characters have really good range and they have really good conversions in their V triggers, and they have really excellent ways to control that space. Sagat is just like G versus Sagat is really tough for Sagat. It's like really hard for Sagat because G has a lot of really good normals and a lot of things that Sagat can't punish. That's also a very big weakness of Sagat, is when you're pushed at a certain range, because of his slow stuff, your best option is maybe a standing light kick, but even if you're at like max range, that will still whiff, or you'll be just out of it. See, just like that. So even if you get into that range, the best thing you can do is go into like a projectile, and you really don't have that many cancels to really work with. So let's try this. You can't really do much with him because of you want to play his ranges because that's what he's supposed to do, but you can't play the range because he can't get those cancels from that specific range. as we can see right here. And then once again, let's revisit the throw. The standing light is really bad. The Karas are very essential to him to only get really average damage. So that's my breakdown of Sagat. I think G is like 1,000 times better. He has armor. He has a V skill you can combo into and out of. He has moves and things that give him project abilities, unique abilities without even using V trigger. Is super good. I don't think Sagat is good. I think they really flopped him, and it's very sad that he is so bad. He's not awful. I'd place him bottom 7 or bottom 8, honestly. He probably has some tools. He probably has some stuff. But once again, think about Sagat. You know, is he going to be rushing you down? No, not really. And are you going to be looking to hit on the tip of the range of his moves to do things? Yeah, because he's a ranged character. He's not a pressure-based character. He doesn't have cross-ups. He doesn't have, you know, comboable overheads like Chun-Li, even, for God's sakes. He doesn't have a good walk speed. He doesn't have a lot of things. And he doesn't have plus frames advantage after his Tiger Knees. He's like 0 at best, but then you're input at a range where you have slower normals again. So he has a lot of weaknesses. Hopefully somebody can find something cool with him. But I don't think he's an excellent character. It's just not looking that way. And it's sad because we were all looking forward to this character. So that's the end. Take care, guys.